So in my workplace, I like to keep really colorful things on my desk and have a bunch of chairs in my office, a couch, different things on the wall that really make it like a happy, fun place for people to come. Because I really like my students to feel like I'm approachable and easy to talk to, and they don't feel so uptight when they're talking to me. So I really try to make my desk and my work environment mirror how I feel about that.
In Alyssa's story, she explains how her office reflects her personal style and what she hopes to accomplish as a result of her decorations. Her personality is very open, friendly, and conscientious on others' thoughts and opinions, making her a naturally approachable person. She reflects this personality in her office by making it warm and inviting for her students. Alyssa values interacting with other people as well as accomplishing goals, so her inviting office space allows for both to be accomplished through proper tutoring and by fostering a student-teacher relationship.
I'm motivated by setting goals, accomplishing goals, achieving things, marking things off lists, checking off boxes. So when I came to college and I was introduced to the degree audit, it was like the ultimate to-do list, the ultimate check off. And so it motivated me to take as many classes as I could in a semester, take summer classes, check these things off, and ended up making a plan, another check off list, and realized that I was able to graduate college in 3 years.
Abby is describing an intrinsic type of motivation, where she expresses inner satisfaction when she checks boxes off of her mental and physical list. North Carolina State University gave Abby the resources she needed to accomplish her goal of completing a 4-year degree in only 3 years, which shows extreme self-determination. The environment Abby was in empowered her, where she experienced a feeling of camaraderie as she worked alongside of students and teachers who supported her and gave her the social interaction she is fueled by.
So, my story about diversity would be a lack of diversity. Whenever I interned at a tobacco company, the whole team was white males, older, which is typical of people in the ag industry. But I was the first girl that they ever had work for them, as well as the only girl that worked there. So there really was not a lot of any kind of diversity going on.
Kara described two categories of diversity, gender and race. She further expressed that older white males were the face of the agriculture industry, a stereotype that she attributes to this specific group. From being raised in the industry her entire life, she is now experiencing how it feels to be the diverse individual by being the first female to intern with this particular tobacco company. Kara is knowledgeable about the tobacco industry and should use this strength to debunk any stereotypes placed upon her. Diversity allows a company to grow and learn by employing individuals who come from different backgrounds and experiences.
Once, at the university, we were working on a group project. There were 7 of us, and as long as 5 of us were friends, we kind of organized an in-group, and there was 2 other people. One that was really talented in math, and another one, we seemed that he was just a freeloader. That person was not showing any dedication at all to our project. So it took us a while before we discovered that that person was talented in painting. Although the project required a lot of mathematical calculations and statistical analysis, it was very helpful for us to discover that talent. He helped us to create a unique design for our PowerPoint presentation.
As Dimitri stated correctly, he was working in a group and not a team because they simply shared a similar goal of finishing their project. He described a more formal group as they were assigned to work together, while also stating that he was a part of the in-group that made the majority of the group's decisions. What I thought was interesting was he mentioned an individual who he labeled as a social loafer because he did not contribute to the group at first. They later used his individual talents to creatively present their project, which demonstrated a positive alternative form of group inclusion.
So I think communication is super important. That way you can talk to different people and really help to get your point across. And I really prefer face to face communication over like virtual communication. Um, where I work on campus, it's like a huge campus, and I work with people from all departments. But I really like going to the office and talking to them instead of trying to communicate that over email. And the same thing for my students. When my students come in my office and talk to me, I'm much more likely to remember their face and ask them more questions about like, how are you? What's going on in your life? And it really helps to get me to know them better than if it's just a quick email where you just write, how are you? But you don't really, it's just like a starting sentence for that.
Through discussion over the semester, I've learned that Alyssa really values social interaction with her peers. In her story, Alyssa talks about her personal preference of meeting her students and peers in person rather than communicating virtually. She uses nonverbal and verbal communication tools to connect with her audience in order to create a relationship with them. By them being physically present, Alyssa is more likely to listen actively and attentively to their joys or concerns. This also can clear up most issues with negative tone or false interpretations that she may feel when reading emails or other forms of virtual communication.
So in 8th grade, we had an election for the class president, and one of the candidates was my best friend. So I couldn't think of anything different but to help my friend to get this position. He was really eager, and I truly believe that he can be the one, so he's the right candidate. Plus, he was my friend. So what happened? I created a few fake votes for him, and he won. Well, I don't really regret this decision because everybody was kind of satisfied, but I believe that he wasn't ethical.
In Dimitri's example, he followed a rational approach on his decision making, although it was not an ethical one. He was biased towards the candidate running for office because it was his best friend. His solution to solve the problem of this friend possibly losing the election was to create false ballots to ensure his victory. As this was many years ago, Dimitri reflected back on this example and understands that it was not morally ethical, and that he could have handled the situation differently, by perhaps helping run a campaign for his friend.
So in undergrad, I was the president of the agronomy club at State, and I had power in that role, and I would say, power that was I could do certain things and um, you know give certain rewards or pick rewards for club members because of the position that I was in. So every year, to encourage participation in the club, we would choose an active status reward, and that was always my job, is to pick something that the club members would like, and that's how we encourage them to get involved and do things.
Kara's authority of being the agronomy club president allowed her the access to resources needed to impact group participation within the club. She used a reward base of power by using her position as president to purchase active status rewards for members who participated in club events and responsibilities. This influenced them to get involved or enhance their current involvement and commitment. Empowerment strategies, such as transferring power and authority to individuals who have demonstrated competency, may have further improved participation and overall positivity.
2 summers ago, I worked on a farm in Stanley County, and for a family called the Burlesons. There were 2 fathers and 2 sons that worked on the farm. So I was there for a summer and quickly became adjusted to their culture on the farm, and it was very much so family oriented. And so they wanted and worked really hard to incorporate me into their family aspect of the farm. They invited me to dinners, they invited me to their children's birthday party. We ate lunch together every single day, or someone would at least bring me lunch and we would eat it together, whether everyone was able to get together or not. They very much so valued that they were working with their family with their career, and worked hard to include me in that aspect of their operation.
In Abby's example, the Burleson farm appeared to operate under a clan-type culture. where they valued their employees, their family, and built their foundation on trust, support, and equal collaboration. Abby described organizational artifacts, such as eating together at all meals, as being instrumental in the Burleson's identity as a unified organization. The norms and values stuck with Abby during her summer with the Burlesons, as she incorporated into the organization as an honorary family member. This culture suited Abby, as she has repeatedly expressed her connection and positive association with the Burleson farm.
2 summers ago, I worked as an intern at the North Carolina House of Representatives under Representative J.H. Langdon from Johnson County. And in his office, there was myself for the summer, and there was also a legislative assistant who worked with him throughout the whole year, and then Representative Langdon, who was the head boss of the office. And through this process, he was not only just a boss, but he was also more of a mentor and really cared a lot about my learning experiences as an intern, and not just learning necessarily about how the legislation passes and things work, but about the agricultural industry as well as life in general. And so after that, I really learned that having him as a boss was super important, and it would carry me farther in life.
Caroline's internship with the House of Representatives expressed both a functional and horizontal organizational design, as each individual worked collaboratively with other members, but remained in their own section performing specialized duties. This is an open system of structure because they depended on a constant interaction with outside individuals in order to impact their work. Decisions in this organization are generally centralized, as Representative Langdon and representatives from other counties have the final say in many outcomes. Caroline also mentioned how J.H. Langdon has served as a wonderful mentor for her and has guided her growth both within the industry and in her personal life. This relationship will allow her to broaden her network, as well as fuel her decision to work within the agricultural industry.
I was a part of an organization on campus called the NC State Clogging Team, and as being involved in that, I quickly moved up in a leadership role, and I became the director for my last 2 years of undergrad. And with that came a lot of added responsibility because I was in charge of coordinating events, choreographing dances, and answering any other questions that 10 to 12 other girls had. And then I was doing all of that, plus trying to be a leader in other campus organizations, trying to keep my grades up, and also have somewhat of a social life. So through all that, I did not really learn how to properly manage stress, and my grades kind of dropped a little bit during that time. Also wasn't much fun to hang out with because I was worried about other things.
In this example, Caroline demonstrated negative associations with stress because she was overwhelmed with her responsibilities as a leader. Because of this stress, she neglected her personal life by letting her grades slip, was less active in other clubs and organizations, and did not do activities that she enjoyed. Caroline could have reduced her stress through symptom management strategies, such as taking, and I quote, Caroline time, where she can relax and take a step back to better approach stressors. Instead, Caroline resisted stress management and attempted to escape the stress, which did not improve her situation both internally or externally. Upon the completion of this course, I have a better understanding of what it takes to become a more effective leader, as well as what it takes to further my growth as an individual. Weekly discussions have allowed me to see into the minds of my friends and learn how to push them to better themselves, as well as reflecting on my strengths and weaknesses. I admit to taking a backseat on my life for quite some time now, something that I should have put as a top priority. Weekly reflections have forced me to sit with my thoughts and question why the world works the way that it does. What can I do to better the lives of others? How could one person make a difference? And what can make an effective leader? Throughout this class, I have learned that it's okay to be open about my emotions. Sometimes the best leaders need to be even better followers. Embrace diversities, stress means that I'm living, and find a little joy in every failure. As a hopeful manager in the future, I understand that a one-word title comes with a very detailed job description. In order to be successful, I must increase the bottom line, and to increase the bottom line, I must devote specialized time towards knowing my employees. This is important because time is something that can't be given back, and by putting time into knowing my employees, means that they are important, both to the industry and to me. I have changed by facing the fact that I can't succeed by simply working alone, and that I need to serve as an equal team member in order to continue to grow. Besides, the pigs aren't really the best at communicating anyways.